Right. Welcome to No Place Like Home.
Absolutely.
I am Suzanne Kiampour. I am the presenter of Out of the Shadows for the BBC, and I will be speaking with Mr. Mohammed Alabar, who is the founder of MR Properties. And I live in an MR property in Dubai, so I guess that makes you my landlord.
It's a pleasure.
So, I have lots of questions for you, and only 10 minutes, I'm afraid. So you have to answer all of them in 10 minutes.
I'm good. I'm
All right.
fast. Yeah.
All right, let's go then. Yalla,
I hope
as
I don't
they
make
say.
mistakes.
How do we create affordable housing for all?
Well, you are asking the right guy because I'm lucky that I came from social housing environment. That's where I lived as a young child until I was 15. So I know it quite well. But what's interesting is that for you to sort this out, I think private and governments have to unite. You need rules, you need regulations, you need willing institutions like ours and many other great institutions in the world. And you need to learn from other nations. There's a lot of great people in the world. Mexico, for example, have done amazing progress when it comes to social housing. So I think it's a combination. But I mean, there's a lot to learn from Canada as well. And I'll tell you something very funny, that one of the solutions I proposed in one of the countries where I operate, actually, I sent a letter to the authorities. I said, I suggest you put a rule on people like us where 7%, up to 10% of what we build have to go to social housing construction. And we can give that on a kind of long-term loans to the certain part of the people who really need that housing. So I would say it's a combination.
But what was the response to that proposal?
No response. No response.
Whoever's listening, we're waiting for a response.
And what I'm saying is that we really have to be responsible to make sure that whatever you do for social housing, even if you make 3% margin, it has to be profit-driven. If you don't do 2% margin, 1.5%, 3%, then there is no discipline. No discipline on cost, no discipline on targets, no good reward system for you leaders and the talent who does the programs. But there are amazing opportunities. What we're doing ourselves, we've done stuff in Indonesia and Egypt and other countries. But what we are doing now is that we are creating Social Housing Institute, where we are bringing the best minds, people with great experience, to come and help us do this and do this seriously. Personally, I'm really very passionate about it. And again, social housing is different. What we need in Indonesia is completely different than what we need in Egypt. And I'll tell you about that. And what we need in probably in the United States.
How do you create community through development?
It's a very tough question because it doesn't apply to social housing. Social housing, they just want a swing. They want a swing. That will create community. They need a playground for their kids. They need a place for the cow and the goats. See, it's such a different state of mind. As we build homes in Egypt, actually we have a space for the cow. Because milk, cheese for the family, and business for the family too, to sell to the neighbors. It's a stitching machines that we provide in that 150 square meter house. It's 50. So it's 50 square meter exactly. So it's completely, we normal people, we can't think like that unless you learn from others. We've learned from other great nations how to do this. So having the school, having playground for the kids. I give you an example. This is what we do in Egypt. Oh, thank you so much. This is what we do in Egypt. We come in, you have homes we do about 2,000 a year. The walls are there, but there is no roof. And they're living there because the roof is dead palm leaves.
Oh.
No running water, no electricity. And then we spend $6,000 each home, and we put a roof, we put a light, we put a sewage system in the neighborhood. Of course, we have communal men, women bathrooms, showers. They have no shower facilities. So I'm saying, when you talk about social housing, you really have to decide who are you talking to. but so easy to do. The challenge we have is production. We need big production. Mexico have sorted that out. So Mexico per company, if you talk about Homex, probably 50,000 a month, a year. But it's a combination of technology and government policies. And what the Mexicans have done is that they say, listen, for any company that produces a home at a price of $25,000 or less, we guarantee a loan to the customer. Which means me as a developer, I make 3% margin or 5%, but then I know that government loans for this level of housing is there. And that's what we should learn from the Mexicans. I think the Mexican example, this is, for example, this is interesting. These are about $6,000 a house.
Where is this?
We did this after the tsunami in Indonesia, and we popped them up in, I think, like a month and a half.
Again, and how many of these are there?
We did 75. And then for the community, we did one of the domes as a combined as a school, nursery, a mosque. This is in Indonesia. That became the core of the community for them. I think one was converted for a small convenient store. But if you look at, so this is, it's simple. I mean, these people, they just want a roof. We're talking about different type of people. They live under the tree, right? And now Mexico is quite interesting. This is Mexico. This is a well-built neighborhood, but these are $25,000, 500 square feet each house, bedroom, living room, bathrooms. But Mexican has ability to do big production, and it's a small, simple technology. We've tried 3D printing. It's failed miserably. It's expensive, very expensive. Now we have to wait for that to happen. But I hope that institute that we are putting together will bring us the best minds. We are giving them prizes for solutions as well. And I don't mind, we can work together and can invite you to join us, because this is such an incredible thing. And where I come from, if you're talking about the Middle East, India, Egypt, Africa, and even in Europe, I think housing is such a big issue.
Do you find housing to be a big issue in America? I mean, whenever I'm traveling, I always find it shocking when I come back to my home of Washington, D.C., and I see so much homelessness.
Well, I think that exists everywhere. The only difference is that people in Africa and India, they're willing to live in four walls with no proper ceiling, no electricity, no water. But I think in the U.S., there is a shortage. There is affordability issue. And I'm sure different states have different solutions, but it's doable if we, in the private sector, we're really passionate about it and we do it from the heart, and there are government rules and regulation that can accommodate all that. It can be sorted. Myself, I tell everyone, if I find a good solution, I'm willing to leave all my businesses and just focus on social housing, because I really believe it's a satisfying goal for us to get involved in.
We spent a lot of time in our homes during the pandemic. Have you found that people are looking for different things since the pandemic when it comes to their homes?
In the social housing, I do a lot in Egypt. We really didn't see a lot of change, but I think healthcare become more important. And again, what are we talking about? We're talking about small clinics that are missing equipment, missing good doctors with a reasonable pay. It's missing education, health education. I think they require more of the health education more than anything else, because with technology nowadays, availability of even healthcare online, it's becoming so much easier. But we have to deploy it and we have to educate them.
What are some of those technologies that are changing the way we design and build residential life as a whole? I mean, your properties span all kinds of different socioeconomic classes.
Well, efficiency of design. The thing that we've learned is that we are not efficient in design, and I think technology now and collection of data is helping us really how to design efficiently, because that will give us not only the right home size, because size has a lot to do with cost, but also how to source material better, what other materials available. And I really think that technology, we're able to reach the world to understand what's happening. And China is providing a lot of, I'm connected with China a lot, and there's a lot to learn from them to be able to provide us with a new source of material to help us reduce cost or help us in efficiency. And again, I refer to Mexico, but maybe the solution is going to be coming from China on what's the best solution for social housing.
What are some of those examples?
Well, again, I have friends who are not only, I visit them because they build 30-story building in 30 days, but, and I stayed in their hotels that they built the hotel in, I guess, 6-story in something like 6 days. Everything is for prefab, but if you look at their engineering capability, it's incredible. So what excites me is that their research in material. So I really wanted to put a plant in the Middle East where I can do a 30-story building in 30 days. And the guy who runs this incredible firm, he said, no, Mohammed, I'm changing. I don't want to touch concrete. I'm into carbon fiber and the new material for strength and for sustainability. Very keen on sustainability. So I think the new material and sustainability, these are two areas that I really believe that in the coming few years will have amazing results.
So on that note, how are properties coming up going to look different when it comes to keeping climate change in mind and making sustainability a priority?
Well, of course, the first thing is the material itself, and I think His Excellency this morning, he was kind enough to tell us, how does fashion business when it comes to pollution compare to say cars or the negative result of fuel. So I would say that having the ability to invent new material that are friendly to the environment, and by the way, a lot is happening in the Middle East as well, and cost. These are the two elements that I really am quite keen on, and I really think that we are going to get close to. I don't think we'll solve the whole problem, but I really think that it will help us stay away from concrete, which is, by the way, the pollution of concrete is, it puts oil and gas to shame when we look at concrete. So I think a lot of work is happening there, and good results are around the corner.
So this is the Priority Summit, and we're hoping to look at priorities for the betterment of humanity. What is your priority for humanity?
I think, I must say, Richard, thank you so much for the amazing survey. I really believe that human stability and peace of mind will give you the confidence, will give you a good family, will give you that good sleep that we talked about in the research, will give you confidence, will give you at least to look into the future positively, right? And then you can grow, you can do great things in life, in society, in family, without a roof on the family. Nothing can start. I remember the night my mother got $1,000. She put it under the mattress. At that time, we were 9 kids. Out of my 9 brothers and sisters, she showed me the $1,000 to say, that land, we're going to build the fence. Anyway, after we built the fence and we got 2 rooms in there, my mom and dad had privacy, a little bit more, so we became 13 kids, all right? Seriously, at first it was the fence and 1 room, and then I guess the government helped us with another room, and then suddenly we became 13 brothers and sisters, And the TV was not there because, there was a TV, but it works one night and one night doesn't work, so it was okay. So I would say that, these are really very special moments in human life, and I really think that without that stability of having a roof on your head, I don't think life can start. I don't think so. But keep in mind also something I learned from India, that when you do these small homes, different societies have different values, but it's $50,000 apartment, or if it's $10,000 home in India, mortgage to this level of income, they are the most incredible part of society that pay you on time because they value this gift. And it's an incredible solution. It solves everything.
Thank you. Let's hand it over to Edie in the audience.
Thank you so much. We wanted to bring the voice of youth into the Priority Summit, and thank you so much to Mohammed and Suzanne for an interesting conversation. Delighted to have now the voice of youth, the Senior Research Manager from MISC Foundation, Amani Al-Kiyami.
Please, pleasure.
Thank you very much for that very insightful talk. I actually wanted to ask, and you tapped into this a little bit, young people are struggling to pay rent, not alone own property. So how can we prepare young people for that future, for changing economies and to moving towards investing in the housing market? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think affordability of homes, not only for the young people, I think in general it's a big challenge. And I think we should, maybe as a young man, when I was a young man, I think we should go back, and I really think that if we really believe that good quality education to start with, imagine if our countries have great education system, I think it's the beginning of solving the problem, because if you create a great human being from education, from good family support, I think it's the beginning of solving all problems. And that creating a valuable human being that can be intelligent, that can contribute, that can either get a good job or start a small business. I think it's from there everything can be solved. And really, you guys are so lucky that I wish I had Google when I was your age. I wish I have YouTube or Instagram or the delivery companies that exist. I will do all my business at home. And you know that. You have a lot of friends who do this. And I'll give you a really small example. And I repeat this example. I have younger kids and older kids. But I have my 30-year-old daughter who started her business at the age of, I think, 22. She just does jewelry design in the house. And it's interesting, but great young people in Saudi Arabia, they're starting so much in their homes and using Instagram and other social media, WhatsApp, and then they do the delivery, and then they make the 10,000, 15,000 a month, or 50,000 a month. And I really think that having that quality of mind and good education and good ecosystem where we really motivate each other, not only to solve the housing problem for your generation, I think you just become the real small and medium-sized enterprises. So the story to prove the story that I think she started 6 years ago, my daughter, she started actually on Instagram, people from South Korea, Australia, ordering $600 jewelry piece from her by paying her in advance. And she takes that money, she manufactures. So what's incredible is that, I'm sorry, maybe I'm changing the subject, but how people in Australia, South Korea, they transfer money to somebody in the Middle East. You can tell from the name it's the Middle East, and I'm sure these, they know it is the Middle East. It's not exactly some other country, so they still have. So I'm saying that this new world is going to be so easy for us to think like that, and have the energy and think positive, that by creating great job opportunity for all of us and our children, you will solve unemployment, you'll solve housing issues. So I really think solving it, but the government have to do a lot as well. So I'm sorry, I would say that the programs, the private sector have to get involved. And again, we go back to Mexico example, and it does very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please, thank you.
For all of that insight, and we look forward to hearing the response from the governments that you made proposals to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.